on, everyone? Joe's from Fitment Industries, FI Garage, and we are back yet again with another episode of What Wheels Fit. And personally, I love doing these videos because, I get to look at cool cars for like a good amount of time, and then I get to talk about cool cars for a good amount of time, and then help other people make cool cars. And it's just like an endless cycle of awesomeness. So in today's episode of What Wheels Fit, we are going to be using the Fitment Industries gallery to dive in and go over what wheels fit the Acura TL. Now, before we go ahead and get into it, don't forget to subscribe and check out everything wheels, tires, and suspension related over at fitmentindustries.com. So today we are going to be taking a look at the third generation of the Acura TL. As we see, this is the most popular years of the car and is one of the, out of all of the generations, the most that is added to our gallery. So that being said, we are going to be looking at the guaranteed fitment range for these cars, and that is going to land yourself right around a wheel diameter between 17 and 20 inches, widths between 8 and 9.5 inches, and offsets landing between 20 and plus 45, in a classic bolt pattern of 5 by 114.3. So if you're looking at wheels already for your Acura TL and it lands within those parameters, you're going to be good to go. However, if you want to get a little more specific and want to see some examples of different setups, you've come to the right place, my friend. And that is exactly what we are about to do. First up, we are going to be going over some setups that will work well for that everyday driver kind of setup and still look good and will not require any fender rolling or any other modifications besides maybe like suspension to get it to fit. So here we have our first example of the day, and that is this 2005 TL on some rotiform BLQs running a size of 18 by 8.5 plus 45. Now with the 225/40 tire setup on some Tein Coilovers, looks pretty decent. No spacers, no fender rolling, just a good solid setup. Next up, sticking with the 18 by 8.5, but bumping that offset just a little bit, we have this 2005 with some XXR 567s, 18 by 8.5 plus 30 with a 235/45 tire on some stock suspension, actually. But kicking that offset to a plus 35 should still be good, even if you are lowered on some lowering springs or coilovers or whatever you have. So what we see is that 18s are very common with this style of setup, and if you're going to want to bump anything wider than an 8.5, you're probably going to have to start rolling fenders at the very minimum to get things like that to fit. So that being said, let's move on to some more aggressive setups. Now, first off, we have this 2007 on some Adhan LS002s. Now these are an 18 by 9 plus 30 on some Michelin Pilot Sport tires, 225/40 for the size on those guys on some coilover suspension. So fenders are rolled to get these wheels to fit, but that's a tiny sacrifice to pay to make it look really, really good. Up next, we have a 2008 on some Varstoen ES2s, 18 by 9.5 plus 22 with a 225/40 size in tires of some BF Goodrich tires and sitting on some D2 racing coilovers. So going a little wider than the previous car and getting a little more aggressive with that offset. This did require, of course, a little bit of pulling in the front fenders to get everything to sit nice and flush. And then for the last of the bunch, we have another 2008, this time sitting on some good old Cosmos Racing MR7s. That was an 18 by 9.5 plus 25 with some Hankook Ventus V2 225/40 tires on some Function Inform coilovers. All that available at fitmentindustries.com. There's a plug. Fenders rolled. That's it. Looks clean. Good to go. So now let's just go a little bit further, shall we? Let's go ahead and take a look at how far we can actually go as to what wheels can fit on an Acura TL. So these cars are going to have extensive modifications, to say the very least, to get these wheel and tire setups to fit, whether that be trimming, whether that be additional suspension components added, or pulling fenders, and this is where we're going to see a lot of these cars start to come out on air suspension, getting that fender to lip fitment and some camber really starting to come into play here. So here we go. First, this 2008 on some Varstoen NK6s, 18 by 10 plus 25, all around with some 225/35 tires on Function Inform air suspension this time. Next up, we have a staggered setup on this one with a 2007 with some VIP modular VX110s. Now, with a 19 by 10 plus 10 in the front and a 19 by 11 plus 10 in the rear, it's a pretty dang aggressive and wide setup for this car. 215/35 in the front, 235/35 in the rear on some airlift performance, air suspension to tie it together all nice like. And then lastly, we have a 2005 Acura TL with some Workmeister S1 3P 18 by 10 and a half, -9, or 18 by 11, -8 in the rear. With 225/25 and 225/40 tires sitting static on some BC Racing coilovers. Because why? Well, because why not, I guess. So there you have it. Some examples of what wheels are going to fit your Acura TL, and of course, just some out there ones if you really want to go that far. But like I said, if there isn't something exact that you wanted to see here in this video, please feel free to hop on over to fitmentindustries.com. Check out the gallery where we actually pull all this data from, and check out a ton more Acura TLs that are over there. Guaranteed you'll find something with all their individual setups listed for you to see. But that is going to wrap it up for this episode. Don't forget to check out fitmentindustries.com, wheels, tires, suspension, all that good stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Joseph, Fitment Industries, FI Garage. We'll see you later. Peace.